Everyone, the cancel culture brigade is back at it in Ireland. Over a week and a half ago I covered this in a video about the event, an Irish cultural event that was to be held in Drumshanbo in County Leitrim. Following pressure, the event was cancelled, unbelievably. So much for freedom of expression and freedom of speech in Irish society. But it's interesting now because the location was changed by the organisers to a location in Castlebar, County Mayo. Now it's now come to light that an online petition has now started again to try and cancel this event for this coming Saturday in Castlebar. Now of course the original petition was signed by people like Christy Moore, signed by Mary Black, signed by Brian Kennedy, the Fontaines, Eleanor Shanley and Chris O'Dowd, the actor, with many others. Up to 500, maybe 600 people signed this petition to cancel this event because they were claiming it was a hate fest and promoting dangerous ideas. Speaking about Irish culture, Irish history, Irish heritage, what's really dangerous around that, I would ask. But again, this is an upside down world we're living in Ireland. Now they're trying to claim that it's down to community concerns the event in Drumshanbo was cancelled. And they also claim that Castlebar is a vibrant, diverse town and they want to keep it that way. This is interesting because at the same time they're trying to cancel people from meeting up, people from speaking their mind and actually having a good time and supporting and involving themselves in Irish culture. Now, what is wrong with that? It just couldn't make this stuff up. It's just pure and utter lunacy. Now they're urging on the workers to shut the place down and they're up to people, calling for people to stand with the community and to get this event cancelled. When the people ever learn, those who claim they're tolerant are perhaps the most intolerant of all, who try and drive their totalitarian agenda towards other people from ideas and views that perhaps are on a different scale to their own views in terms of their own narrow worldview. And it just demonstrates how intolerant many of these so-called activists are. They're really doing the work of the political establishment by playing into this narrative as well, and also calling for more draconian laws such as hate speech legislation as well. But isn't that unbelievable to cancel an Irish cultural and heritage event in Ireland? So much for freedom of expression, so much for freedom of speech, so much for musicians, artists, poets who are willing to take part in this event, to go and actually be proud of your Irish heritage and Irish culture and the whole idea of what Irishness really means in society. But of course this is a dirty word to many of those in the political establishment and many of those lackeys who claim they're the most tolerant, who always claim to stand up for the marginalised in society and are trying to oppress people. But it's interesting because many of these self-same people are the ones that put the jackboot on ordinary people during COVID, for instance, in terms of the lockdowns and in terms of the call for discrimination in society through vaccine passports, and also for harder lockdowns in terms of lockdowns for longer school closures, and not to mention the harrowing impacts of lockdowns. And of course this benefited the very rich in society. The lockdowns benefited those big corporations, benefited the billionaires, and benefit those who were able to work from home. Meanwhile, the essential workers were the ones who were going to work every day, collecting the bins, doing the work in retail, and struggling to get by, paying high rents as well. But of course, this is who these elites in society represent. They're completely removed from ordinary working class people. They're removed from any sense of what our history is in Irish society, the history of struggle, a struggle for independence. They're removed from the ideas of sovereignty in terms of people being sovereign. They want everybody to be under the same stick and control, much the same as what we have at the moment in society, where people don't have a say, and we see a drive towards totalitarianism with the Irish political establishment. Rather than having a tolerant, inclusive society where people can freely express their views and freely research their ideas and express their ideas in terms of a public platform and public means to talk about the issues that are important to them in terms of, and then discussing those issues in an open, transparent, honest fashion to deliver real policies to serve the interests of ordinary people. So it really has massive connotations in terms of people's sovereignty, as well as our freedom of expression, in terms of having proper debates in society. But of course, this isn't part of their narrative. They're doing the work of the political establishment, lackeys for the big employers in terms of the mass immigration, lackeys for the big commercial property owners making massive windfalls from the immigration chaos. They're doing all the lackeys for the political establishment, and at the same time we see this lunacy taking place where they're trying to cancel more events from people speaking out to be proud of your Irish culture, heritage and history, and speak about relevant details of Brehon law, which were very pronounced in Irish society going back centuries. Very important laws as well in Irish history. It's just ludicrous. It's absolutely just ludicrous what's taking place. But again, this plays into the hands of the complete corrupt political establishment. It plays into the hands of the ruling elites in society, dividing more people rather than standing up for the interests of people here in Ireland. They're trying to make people ashamed of their history, forget about their history. But it's so important now more than ever to speak up for our history and not to be silenced by other people who are trying to drown out people's proud, strong heritage, culture and traditions in Irish society. And of course we need to put the interests of ordinary people first so the needs are met in society. So thanks a lot for the support of my videos, really appreciate them. Please subscribe to my channel and also please keep sharing as well. So from Dublin today, slán go fóill.